The passionate leader. Because leadership without passion is just a title.
Meeting, meeting, meeting. We got a collapse in the garage. Get the squad back living in here. We got an IV gone to a firefighter. It's on island urgent. Transmit a second along.
Welcome back, passionate leaders. Welcome to part 2 of my conversation with Deputy Chief Bob Glidden. If you thought the first half was solid, buckle up. This is where it really gets real. We're diving headfirst into mentorship, calling out weak leadership, and breaking down what it really takes to earn your crew's trust, not just wear the bugles. If you missed part 1, I'm going to ask you to hit pause right there and go back, find episode 1, and give that a listen. But if you're ready to get uncomfortable in all the right ways, let's finish where we started. Nah, dude. What as far as getting it, hours wise, how many hours a month do you think you put in getting trainings and stuff like that ready to go?
So for me, the training aspect of it is actually kind of stepped down a little bit. As I've moved up through deputy chief, we've got training officers and stuff like that. And they handle it really well.
Awesome.
We've had some really good people that are in our department, take a lot of pride and responsibility. And so they're nailing this stuff. Honestly, it's just making sure that we do the trainings that we have to do to meet the requirements.
Yeah.
And my people are making it happen. We're drilling every single Tuesday night. Our juniors meet with us on those Tuesdays. Sometimes the drill is more to the juniors and the members are helping with it. Sometimes it's a drill more to the members and the juniors are helping with it. You know what I mean? So it's that real good blend. People, you have the adults working with the kids. And then we have the first Sunday of the month where we also have a drill and a business meeting. So, we're doing 5 drills a month. That's more than a lot of departments.
Oh, God, yeah.
It's just, we're doing so much. It's, and people are showing up.
I forgot where I read it, but somebody said, people want to be held accountable to a standard. And, if they have a standard to be held accountable to, they're going to show up and they're going to put in the work. And it clearly, it shows. It 100% shows from the business model that you guys have. So being deputy chief and head of EMS, how do you balance both the operational and personnel sides of the job?
That's always a challenge. There's reach out to members a lot of times off hours or whatever, away from the firehouse, and just trying to make that connection, get to know who they are. That's kind of the biggest thing. Let people know that you're human too, and you care, and get to know them, and then, obviously there's the business end of it, and it's letting people know that, when we're on the fire scene or there's an issue or something and we have to deal with it, look, this is not personal. Okay. Now's the time to get stuff done. If we're on the fire scene and I say, hey, we need to do this now, I'm not being an asshole to you. I'm not yelling and screaming at you. It's business, right?
Yep.
And it's not personal. And then when we get back to the firehouse, hey, how did that go for you? I wasn't mad at you or anything. It's business, right?
Oh, sure.
And when we leave here, we're going to respect one another. We're going to agree to disagree. We're still going to be friends, right? I'm still going to say hi to you out on the street and that kind of stuff. And it's just, the communication, man, is huge. Communicating with people. And it's letting them know that, it's not personal. The decisions, unfortunately, being an officer, you got to make hard decisions.
Mm-hmm.
You have to. And that's the biggest thing is letting these, I'm not on you because I don't like you. Right. I'm on you because it's for the betterment of the fire department or the community. Right. And that's the big thing, man. You have to figure that out.
Yes.
As a leader, you have to figure that out.
Yeah, no, that's good stuff. Another good question. I think we honestly could probably put the dots together now, but you guys obviously have found a way to buck the trend in the staffing, battle in the fire service. If you have one, what is your secret to keeping a roster full and the culture healthy?
It's the family atmosphere that we have. It's taking care of your people. Chief has always instilled it. He's always allowed it. We just started a banquet last year. First one we've ever had. That was kind of something that I wanted for our people, right? Let's recognize them.
Yeah.
They're the ones doing the work, right? And I guess what really did it for me was someone said to me one time, if it wasn't for you and your family, we wouldn't have that fire department. And I'm like, whoa, 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 wait a minute, wait a minute. I appreciate that, right? And how much you respect my family and what we've done. But there's other people in that firehouse.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? It's not about me
Right.
as an officer or even as a member. It's about them and us as a whole.
Right.
And that's the thing. You got to take care of your people, make that family atmosphere. And I mean, they just come in, man. People love it. The community sees it. They talk about it. They're like, wow, you guys are you're always so happy and you're good and you're doing this and you're doing that and you're in the community, and it's because of the way we take care of each other.
No,
I
yep.
believe it. I truly believe it. That's what it
Love it.
is,
Yeah.
you
No,
know?
I do believe that depending upon the department in the area, we can be in a culture where we sometimes will eat our own. And
Yeah. Oh,
I
100%.
I think that's a lot of the problem. But I mean, obviously with what you guys have, having a family mentality and stuff like that, I think really is obviously served you guys well because it's working extremely well. Um, one of the ones, and this is actually, I mean, a question that I even had to answer myself because, I mean, if you know, my wife's also in the fire department, so
Mhm.
every time I come up with questions, she's like, "Well, you answer those questions," but so she makes me, so all these questions I kind of had to go through. Um, this one was actually huge. So, do you think every firefighter should take on a mentorship role, or does it take a certain breed for somebody to be a leader and a mentor?
I
It's a loaded question.
I would like everybody to do it,
Yep.
but I feel like it takes a certain kind of person. You know what I mean? It really does. There's there's a lot about how you talk to people.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And how you get your information out there. And some people just they have a hard edge and that's just how they are. And not everybody responds to that, you know?
It's true. Yep.
But you definitely, as many of us that can be mentors as we can, have to. The best thing an old firefighter can do is teach a young firefighter how to become an old firefighter. I
Yep.
mean, that's
Yep.
the truth, right?
Yeah, it is. Yep.
And that's I learned from the guys that were older than me, the ones that are hanging on the wall at our firehouse that are life members. Unfortunately, some that are not here with us anymore. I learned from those guys.
Yep.
They taught me how to do this and how to bring up the next round. And I mean that's what it comes down to.
No, I do believe I'm right there with you. I would love to see everybody have the ability to be a mentor and a leader, but honestly, some people are either if they're so far in and jaded to the service, they're just going to teach people the wrong stuff
Absolutely.
and honestly, like you said, if somebody's got a hard edge, some people just have that really dry personality, and if they're not
Mhm.
open and bubbly, it's while they have the best interest in the world, they're just that introvert that just is just so on edge all the time. But no,
Yeah.
this was again. I mean, she goes, "What do you think?" I'm like, "Dude, good question. This is a good question to ask."
It's tricky. It's tricky.
Yeah, no, so one of the harder things to do, obviously, and I can speak personally for me being a deputy as well. Discipline is one of the worst parts of the job. How do you go about handling discipline and correction with the younger or newer members in a way that still builds trust and growth?
So again, it always comes down to, it's not a personal decision. You know what I'm saying? And then let them know that, uh, really show them. Don't just say it,
Mm,
show them, and again, it's how you treat them, you know? It's just, it's one of those things that's really tough. And to be honest, it's one of those things that I don't enjoy about being an officer and a leader is having to, um, eh, be involved in those decisions. You know what I mean? Because these people come in here. We're a small volunteer fire department. We're tight knit, right? You get to know people really well. You build these relationships. You become friends, and then something happens and puts you in a tough spot, and you have to make this decision. And it's like, all right, look, it's not a personal deal. And from my experience with most people, if you're upfront with them and you're honest, they're going to respect that.
Mm,
You know, one of my best friends, I've been in the situation before where I've had to say, "Hey, look, that's not how we're going to do things, and we have to change it." And, they looked at me and they said, "You know something? I respect you a ton. You're always honest with me. You're always upfront. And the biggest thing you told me was when we leave here, we're still going to be friends."
mm.
And you know what? We still are. I mean, we go fishing all the time.
Yeah,
Hops on my trucks, and I love to see him hop on that tanker and go run that truck. Like it's just, you have to take care of these people. And that's really what it comes down
sure.
to: honesty, respect, and communication.
Love it. I love it. I didn't have to do a whole lot of discipline from lieutenant or captain. It wasn't until I
Yeah.
became a deputy, and for us, I mean, we try to do the progressive step level discipline. The lieutenant takes care of the members, but it's hard when you're a deputy. It usually means that it's either escalated that far, or in my case, it was another officer, and it can be tough because I mean, this officer he's my favorite officer, and
Yeah.
he's very, um, he knows his stuff, and he was in everything so far. I mean, I've just it's been just kind of reining it in, and it's passion for him too. But
Right.
yeah,
Right.
it's tough when at the deputy chief level, at least in our organization, it's inter-officer stuff, and I'm like, "Oh, man, this is
Yeah.
tough."
So
You're disciplining your peers.
one of the things that the chief does really well is when we make decisions in the fire department, it's not, "Well, I'm the chief, it's my decision." You know what I mean? He
Sure.
really communicates that with us. So when we have some type of a disciplinary thing that we need to address, it's not him making the decision. It's not me. It's not the captains. It's not the lieutenants. It's us as a whole.
Yep,
We discuss all the areas of whatever the situation is. And ultimately it does come down to chief, but he's making that decision based off us as a group. It's not just, "Well, I'm the chief and this is how I
sure.
want it." You know what I mean? And that's probably, I don't necessarily know how that works in some of the other departments, in the bigger departments. I know, like you said, lieutenants and captains and what they have different roles and stuff like that. But in our department with that smaller setting, we handle that more as a
Mm,
group. And again, it's that communication thing,
sure.
you know?
Yeah, well, and I think honestly, there's a lot of times feelings can kind of get in the way of having a discipline, and if it's a one-on-one, I'm responsible for this captain or this
Yeah.
lieutenant or something, and if you have a group of, it's easier if it's firefighter because it's just officers put their
Yeah.
heads together, and it's like, "Oh, I know him. I guarantee you he did not mean it that way." And I bet if you just go sit down and talk to him, he's gonna be like, "Dude, I didn't mean
Hmm.
it that way," so on and so forth. So there is what I, from my viewpoint, where the way we have it set up is it can be tough when it's a one-on-one because I don't really have anybody. I can't bounce it off of the next rank above me is an assistant chief, because if there's an appeal on my decision, then the assistant chief is the one that hears the appeal. So
Hmm.
it's a conflict, a conflict of interest, so to speak. But it's
Right.
honestly the nine-headed monster is honestly the best way to sometimes handle some of the discipline stuff.
It's worked out well for us. I mean, even in a couple instances where we've had to set an officer down and have the hard conversations,
Sure.
uh, the growth in that officer was massive.
Mm,
You know what I mean? And I think a lot of it's the way we handled it. It wasn't just, "Well, it's my decision. It's this." It's no. We sat down as a group. We hashed it all out, and it was resolved. You know what I mean? And it's a done deal, and we move on, and we're all better for it.
yep.
So it's worked well for us.
No, and I think you hit the nail on the head. It's growth. I think a lot of agencies see discipline as a way to as a negative, but honestly, it can be a teaching thing too.
Yeah.
It's some of the things that we do. I mean, there's probably a ton that I do that could be handled in a disciplinary way, but it's a teaching tool. It's not, we want to write you up because X Y Z. But no, that's
Yeah.
awesome. That's good stuff. So, well, back in 2015, you were named the Myra Craft Community MVP from the Patriots Foundation. What did that recognition mean to you?
Oh, I'm getting goosebumps you talking about it again. That was super cool. So how that actually came about, we were looking for grants for the
Mhm.
firehouse, and somehow one of my captains found this grant when it wasn't really a grant, but it was an award. And he read it through and he's like, this is perfect. Now they're offering awards from 5,000, 10,000 to $25,000. So he's like, look, we can try to get something, let's nominate me, which is what they did. I had no idea this was happening. So they nominated me. Captain Marks wrote up a whole letter. The members all were like, yep, that's it. Let's submit it. Next thing I know, it was, let's see, I think it was early spring. I'm getting a phone call and I'm like, that number's weird. I'm not sure if I should answer that. I didn't answer it. They left me a voicemail and it was so and so from the New England Patriots. And I'm kind of like, yeah, right. So then they start talking, and he's like, well, Captain Chris Marks. And now I'm like really scratching my head. I'm like, there's too many things adding up here. So they start talking about what this is. And, Myra Kraft was Robert Kraft's wife, huge into volunteering. So the New England Patriots Foundation, they generate funds every year. And they came up with this Myra Kraft Award, and it's basically for volunteerism. So I got nominated and selected out of over 400 applicants.
So that's
I
so
was
cool.
one of 26 people that were selected to go and get an award. I had no idea what the award was going to be. So anyway, I got the phone call from them. We communicated, got a date to go and have lunch at Gillette Stadium in the Putnam Lounge area with all these other recipients that were going to be getting awards. We had the Lombardi trophies there. We had some Hall of Famers there. It was cool, right? It was awesome. So we're all there, and they're reading off the awards. They start with the $5,000 awards, and I think they did 10 of them.
Yep.
And then they did so many of the $10,000 awards, and then the very last award was for $26,000. So that would have been the so they did 15 5,000s and then 10 of the 10,000 and then one of the 25. So they're going through the 5,000s first, and basically they're reading off what was submitted about the particular awardee. And then, hey, we're giving them a $5,000 award for whatever the foundation is that they're there supporting. And then they get to the 10,000s and they start going through all of those, and they're still not calling my name. And now I'm starting to sweat. I'm like, you got to be kidding me, right? This is crazy. And they get down to two more $10,000 awards, and they call my name and start reading and all this stuff. So we got a $10,000 check written from Robert Kraft. That's
That's
kind of cool.
dude.
That
That's
was kind of cool. So it was, they basically read the whole entire letter that Captain Marks wrote up about why I should have been selected for the award. A lot of it had to do with the work I did after Tropical Storm Irene went through in 2011. But a lot of that stuff, it all just really came together. We got a $10,000 award for the fire department. And that was incredible to me. That was something I never expected. I didn't even know it was happening. And then to get that award. So I came home with this little trophy thing. We had a $10,000 check. I have since been in the Patriots calendar magazine. They got a magazine about all their stuff. I've been in there numerous times. I've got a huge picture on the wall from being down on the field, getting pictures with Robert Kraft and Andre Tippett and some of the other players and stuff. It's super cool, man. It's super cool experience. They're they're so in with volunteerism, and it's incredible. And to know that something like that's out there, and these what the Patriots are, and they're recognizing,
oh sure.
somebody from this little corner of Vermont, it's unbelievable. So for me that was incredible. But honestly, again, I owe it to my people, right? I mean, I didn't do this to get an award. That's
Right.
not what it's about for me. For me, it's about them and then succeeding. But if for them it's me getting an award, then that's cool,
Dude, that's I didn't even know you got it until I think I think you shared your memory, and I was like, oh shit, no fucking way,
Yeah.
look at that. No, that's dude. Um, to be honored by the best football team in all of the world, that's pretty
right?
damn cool, man.
And that's when they were
That's
really good too.
that's
You know, they were really good then. It's a little harder to watch right now, but you know what I'm saying.
that's it's still a pretty damn good flex if I ever say so
It was
myself.
super cool. It was super cool. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. So outside of the firehouse, obviously you love to go fishing, hunting, trail riding, and anything hockey. How important is it to you to have that outlet to kind of break free from the fire service every so often
Oh,
when
it's
need
it's
be?
it's huge. It's huge. Just to, get out on the water by myself or something and do a little bass fishing, just kind of, the whole peacefulness of it, or get out there with your buddies. I actually do a July 4th fishing trip every year, super early in the morning. We're on the water by 5 a.m.
Oh
You
gosh.
know, yeah, I just did that with some buddies on a lake I'd never been to. And just kind of disconnect from the real world. You know what
Yep.
I mean? Get
Yep.
out there and focus on something else and have a good time. And that's what everybody needs. We all need that.
Mm,
Even in the smaller departments, when you're
yeah.
not running calls every single day, you still got to take care of yourself, because the fatal car wreck that I saw is just as bad as the fatal car wreck that the guy that runs 20 calls a day that he
Yeah.
saw. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And it all is going to affect everybody different. So it's really having that time to take care of yourself.
No, and I think where we really are at a disadvantage is we have a higher probability of knowing who's the
Yeah.
individual we're going to rescue. Been lucky so
Yeah.
far, knock on wood, that that we don't have it as much as I would have ever expected, but it still happens. No,
I wish
it's
I could
huge.
say for us it didn't happen a lot, but I mean, it does. I mean,
Yeah.
we've got 1,200 people in this town,
Yeah. I
you
mean, how do
know,
you not know
and
everybody?
I can think of right now numerous fatal car wrecks that I've been to that were people I went to school with.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
don't forget that stuff. We even lost one of our after he was a junior. He decided that the fire service wasn't for him, and that's fine. Super great kid. He just had a different area he was going to go in life, and unfortunately, he died on one of our roads less than a mile away from the firehouse at 18 years old.
Yep.
It just That's what sticks with you the most. It's the people
Yeah.
in this small town.
No, so incredibly true. Um, when you think about legacy, both professional and personal, what do you hope people will say about the mark that you left on the Proctorsville from Vermont Fire Department?
I hope that they're proud of it. They're proud of what I've done, what I've been able to help our members accomplish. I never really thought about it. To be truly honest with you.
It's a tough question.
Um,
It's almost like asking somebody to write their own obituary, really, right?
yeah, it is. It's kind of weird. I guess I always tell members that we like people to try to make the firehouse better than they found it. Right. I guess I would want people to say that.
Yep.
He made that place better than way he found it.
Good. Yeah.
And I guess in my mind, I'd want the membership that's still there to continue that.
Yeah.
I want them to do the same thing. You know.
Ah, dude, I love it. So this is the last question. So this one might be a long or a short one. So recently, the department faced some foul attention on a particular social media page that loves to post negativity in the fire service under the cloak of just ball busting.
Mhm.
Without naming any names, obviously, of what page this is, how did you guys go about handling that negative nationwide, publicity on that one page and keep everybody focused on what the mission was?
So it's keyboard warriors kind of thing. You know what I mean? And it's just, what do you get out of it?
Mm,
Right. And like I tell everybody, don't worry about, we critique ourselves, right? Don't worry about what they're doing. We critique us, right?
yes.
So if they
Yep.
want to do that, fine, let them do it, whatever. The biggest thing is that we learn something from every call we go on, right? Rather we were right, wrong, or indifferent, we have to learn something every time we go on a run. And that has to be our focus. You're always, I guess that's the biggest thing too, is becoming an officer. You're always going to be in the spotlight.
Mm,
People are always going to critique you, even your own members, right? Well, why did he tell us to do that? Why did they this? Why did they that? So you've got to develop kind of that little thicker skin to begin with. Um, but it's trying to instill that mindset on our members too, right? What's important? What is important is what your fire chiefs, your officers tell you, not some Joe Schmo on a keyboard,
Yep.
right? They weren't there. They don't know the specifics. They don't know, you know what I'm, they don't know the specifics. I mean, that's really what it comes down to.
Yeah.
And I think we all can be guilty of it sometimes. You know, I'll see a video on the, you know, some fire page or something, and I'll be like, geez, why did they do that? Why did they this? The difference is I'm not getting on there and
Mm-hmm.
typing and ripping their asses apart,
Yep.
because what do we get out of that? Where's the brotherhood in that,
Right.
right? We need to learn from each other, not rip each other apart and damn you, you suck. Why'd you do this?
Yeah.
That's not
Yeah.
helping anybody. And
Yep.
that's the bad thing in the fire service. It really is that people do that, you
Yeah.
know?
Yep.
I've been able to get that mindset on our folks that, you know, we're going to try to get better every time, regardless of what somebody else says. Right.
Yep.
So let's just focus on what we have to say about it and go from there. You
Dude,
know, don't bite into that other stuff and don't engage in it.
it's hard, honestly, especially
It is.
if you're passionate and you care. Um, I've we've been through it with our organization, not on that particular page, but in other ways, shapes, or forms, and it's tough because when you care about your people, the first thing you want to do is get on a pulpit and
Yeah.
defend them. But really, what these trolls are looking for is somebody to, because that's it's the only way that they can generate followers and stuff like that.
Mhm.
It's all pure smut.
Yeah.
Um, dude, that is all of the questions I have. It's been damn near a solid hour. So,
Nice.
unless there's anything else that you wanted to go about, ladies and
No,
gentlemen, yeah,
I think this is cool that you're doing this, man.
dude, I
When I first saw this thing come up, and I think you were interviewing Chief Wilson
yeah,
that you know, had retired, and I was like, geez, what is this? All right, this is cool. And then I start seeing all your stuff, man. You're onto some really good stuff here. This is
I
awesome.
I this all started as, so me, I've been trying to work my way through the fire service career with one department or the other to to become a chief.
Yep.
And I've had a few yes we want you, and a couple of no we don't. And after a while, I'm like, dude, I don't want to affect just a department, because the reason everybody wants to promote up and you make the service better.
Hmm.
But I realized that my reach with a small town department is only 30 to 40 people. But through this podcast and through my TikTok page and Instagram and Facebook, dude, I've hit thousands already. I mean,
Oh yeah,
my first
absolutely.
my first week, I was hoping to get 1,000 TikTok views. I get that per post now.
Yeah.
It's absolutely fucking insane. So in the podcast is really where my focus has been on. The TikTok was to try to get more followers and in the fellowship and stuff like that. I mean, it's taken off. In fact, actually today I just had somebody randomly, the first one so far, to be a guest, and I'm like, dude, I don't have
Nice.
to, now I'm not even soliciting guests now, and
They're asking to
um
be on the show.
a
That's
hundred
awesome.
percent. So I'm gonna actually, once we're offline with all this, I'll get all the information for your couple of people that you recommended, and I'm gonna hit them up, because nothing's more flattering than when somebody's on a podcast and they recommend that that you go on the show too. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
dude, I really appreciate it. I know it takes a lot out of your day to try to dad and be on a podcast, so you're knocking it out of the park. Um, Guys, this has been JP, the passionate leader, Deputy Chief Bob Glidden, the Proctorsville, Vermont Fire Department. Get back on and listen to the show again. This is one of the most passionate and energetic sons of guns you are going to see. The guy cares about his community, cares even more about his people, and he wants to see this fire service better. I know for a fact that Bob lives by the passionate leader creed, and that is to lead with passion, serve with humility, and leave no room for bottom feeders. See you guys next time.